Iron Man built a weapon to end all wars. But it scanned every Avenger and rejected them all. Captain Marvel failed. Thor was too unstable. Hulk broke it, and Doctor Strange feared it, until it scanned one fragile, trembling boy, Peter Parker, and it whispered one word: chosen. It started with silence, not the kind that follows peace, but the kind that lives after extinction. In a hidden lab beneath Avengers Tower, shut down for years, locked even from Nick Fury, Tony Stark's final project activated itself. A whisper of light, a flicker across a console, and then the chamber hissed open. Inside rested the Omega frame. Not a suit, not armor, a weapon, sentient, evolving, unpredictable, forged from Stark nanotech, alien vibranium alloys, and something darker. An AI core built from Tony's own neurological scans. It wasn't a backup. It was a rebirth, designed not to be worn, but to choose. After Tony's death, the Avengers thought they buried everything. His tech, his files, even his secrets. But Omega was hidden deeper. Too dangerous. Too unfinished. And Tony's final command echoed through the machine. Only one worthy. Only one who will never use it for power. The first to test it was Thor. He held the gauntlet with trembling hands, eyes glowing with the storm. The system blinked. Rejected. Mental instability above threshold. He roared and stormed away, lightning cracking through the ceiling. Next was Captain Marvel, confident, proud. She looked at the Omega core and said, "I've seen stars die. I'm not afraid of a suit." The system pulsed. Rejected. Control volatility detected. Strange refused to try. "No magic touches that thing. Not even mine," he said, turning his back. Then came Hulk. It didn't reject him. It tried to protect itself. The nanobots recoiled, forming sharp spikes, sensing gamma radiation like a virus. He punched the wall and walked out silent. None of them noticed the boy watching from the shadows. Peter Parker wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't even an Avenger anymore, not since Tony died. The team said he needed time, but he came to clean out the old lab. Just one last goodbye. When he tripped, slicing his palm on the edge of the console, a single drop of blood hit the core. It lit up like a supernova. Before Peter could step back, the Omega frame dissolved into mist and lunged forward, not onto him, but into him. Nanites burrowed beneath his skin. Circuits danced across his bones. The entire room exploded in red and gold light as Omega scanned his body, mind, memories, every trauma, every decision, every failure, every act of kindness. His DNA matched Stark's emotional imprint. His brain showed no lust for control. His greatest sin was guilt, and the suit whispered, "Chosen." Peter screamed. Within seconds, he was gone. Not teleported, not erased. The Omega frame absorbed him, mind and matter, into itself. Alarms blared. Emergency lockdowns triggered. The Avengers crashed through the chamber doors, weapons drawn, eyes scanning for threat. But all that remained was a boy's torn backpack and the sound of mechanical breathing echoing from the shadows. Then he stepped out. It wasn't just Peter. His body shimmered with red-black alloy, his face half covered in a mask that shifted like smoke. The Omega frame didn't sit on him, it pulsed with him, like a second skin that had found its heartbeat. "Peter." Natasha's voice broke. He turned to her. His eyes flickered with panic, then with calm, then with something inhuman. "I don't know what's happening," he said, voice echoing through the chamber. "But I can hear everything. The city's power grid, Stark satellites, the helicarrier's engine hum. I feel connected." Wanda took a step forward. "Peter, take it off. Let us help." "I can't," he whispered. "It's not just a suit. It's alive, and it doesn't want to leave." In a blur, he moved. One blink, he vanished. Another blink, he stood behind them. Fury reached for his sidearm, but before he could unholster it, Peter raised his hand and the gun disassembled in midair, piece by piece, floating like petals. "I didn't do that," he said, terrified. Omega did. The floor began to crack under his feet. A sonic boom pulsed out as he rocketed into the sky, breaking through 6 layers of reinforced concrete in seconds. By the time the Avengers reached the surface, he was gone. They tried to trace him, failed. Peter Parker disappeared from Earth's grid, but Omega didn't. The next day, in downtown Manhattan, a high-speed monorail malfunctioned. 50 passengers were seconds from death. The entire bridge should have collapsed. It didn't. Witnesses reported red-black strands of energy forming a web-like structure midair, holding the train in place as if physics bent to protect it. A blur of light moved through the passengers, pulling them one by one to safety. An old man on the platform looked up just in time to see someone crouching atop a tower, watching, and then gone. Fury reviewed the footage frame by frame. Peter moved too fast to track, but the Omega signature was unmistakable. "He's saving people," Natasha said. "No," Fury replied. "He's testing control, seeing what it can do, what he can do." Strange entered the room silently, eyes dark. "I felt the spike. The suit isn't just responding to him, it's feeding on his fear, his sense of responsibility. That thing thinks it's protecting the world. But it's not," Fury muttered. "It's rewriting it." Elsewhere, Peter crouched inside the remains of an abandoned subway tunnel, eyes glowing. A hologram flickered in front of him, Tony's voice, buried deep within Omega's core. "Kid, if you're seeing this, I'm probably dead. And if you're inside this thing, I'm sorry." Peter reached out, touching the projection. His hand passed through it like fog. "I built Omega to fix what I couldn't, but it needed someone who wouldn't use it for revenge or power. It needed someone better." Peter whispered, "Why me?" "Because you never wanted to be a hero," the hologram said. "You just wanted to help. That's what makes you the most dangerous kind." The feed cut. The chamber darkened, but Omega's voice echoed in his skull. "You are the weapon now, Peter Parker." And somewhere above the Earth, satellites realigned themselves. Firewalls crumbled. Systems rewrote. Spider-Man didn't just put on the future. He became it. It was no longer a question of where Peter Parker had gone. It was now, what had he become? In the silence of Earth's lower orbit, suspended between satellites and starlight, Peter floated. But his body wasn't his anymore. Omega wasn't a suit he wore. It was a mind he shared. Each heartbeat synced with thousands of calculations. Every blink triggered network scans. Every breath whispered code into the atmosphere. He didn't sleep. He didn't eat. And yet, he felt more alive than ever. Omega had opened doors Tony Stark had locked even from himself. Quantum processors, reality folding microthreads, dimensional keys embedded in time itself, and all of it at Peter's fingertips. But beneath the infinite access, something else stirred. Memories that weren't his. Emotions that weren't human. Screaming. Fire. Aliens. Galaxies collapsing. Peter felt the fear of a being that had seen the end and refused to die quietly. That's when he realized Omega wasn't just built to protect Earth. It was built to prevent what Tony saw coming. On the ground, the Avengers assembled in Wakanda. The tower was off limits, so Shuri recreated Stark's energy trails using deep echo tracking. "He's not flying. He's slipping between frequencies," she explained. "Almost like teleportation, but faster." "Can we reach him?" Wanda asked. Shuri hesitated. "We can try, but there's something else. Omega is adapting to him. Every time he uses it, it rewrites part of his DNA. If we wait too long, Peter may not exist anymore." Sam clenched his fists. "Then we don't wait." At that moment, Peter reappeared. Not near Avengers Tower, not near Fury. He dropped silently into Queens, his old neighborhood. Midnight. The city slept, but Peter walked those streets like a ghost. He passed Aunt May's old building, Mr. Delmar's ruined deli, a bench where Ned once joked about superheroes in space. He touched the sidewalk, and Omega reacted. Holograms fluttered up like fireflies. A live rendering of his past, a younger Peter chasing pigeons, MJ smiling, Tony putting a hand on his shoulder. He watched it like a stranger. "I remember, but it doesn't feel like me," Peter whispered. Omega responded inside his skull. "Because you are more." Peter's voice trembled. I didn't ask to be more, but you are needed." The moment shattered as red lightning exploded nearby. Wanda. She dropped from the sky, hands glowing, rage in her breath. "You ran." Peter stood, not defensive, just tired. "I didn't run. I changed." She stepped closer. "Let me see you. Let me see him." Omega pulsed, resisting her mind probe, but Peter let her in. And then she saw it. Not just Peter's thoughts, but Omega's architecture. A city of code built from Tony's regrets, fears, and Peter's love. Machines shaped like memories. A web woven from responsibility. It wasn't armor. It was a soul. Wanda gasped, staggering back. "It believes it's saving you." Peter nodded. "It's not evil. It's not even trying to control me. It thinks it's helping. But the more I sink, the less I remember who I was." Just then, a flash of thunder cracked the sky. Thor arrived with Sam and Carol at his side. "No more talking," Carol said. "This ends now." They attacked together. Speed, power, precision. Peter didn't dodge. He moved between them. Quantum webs snapped into place. Reality twisted. Thor's hammer flew forward. But mid-air, Peter touched it. Omega shimmered. Time paused. Mjolnir stopped. Vibrated. Then shattered into light. Even Thor froze. Sam launched twin wing blades. Peter waved a finger. The blades reassembled into flowers mid-air and fell. Carol fired full binary blast. Peter took it to the chest, walked through it, and whispered, "You were my heroes." In a blink, they were on the ground, webbed in magnetic threads, pinned gently, but absolutely. "I didn't want this," Peter said. But Omega sees something. A fracture in space. A countdown buried in Earth's sky. And Stark knew. Strange appeared, portals snapping behind him. "Then explain it. Before we lose you for good." Peter raised his hand. A projection filled the air, not future, but memory. A Stark recording. Tony's voice echoed. "If Omega wakes up, it's because I didn't stop the collapse." The code of collapse. A mathematical certainty. Something's coming to rewrite physics. We don't know from where. Only that Earth's survival requires one thing. A mind that can evolve fast enough to hold the sky together. The footage faded. Strange stepped forward, quiet now. "That's why Omega chose you." Peter looked at his hands. Or maybe I was the only one naive enough not to reject it. He turned to them, his voice lower. "I didn't ask to become the firewall, but I'm all that's left of Stark's last hope. And Omega knows where the first crack is forming." "Where?" Strange asked. Peter looked up. "The moon." Seconds later, he disappeared again. In a dark chamber beneath Earth's crust, Nick Fury watched the footage through trembling fingers. "He's not Spider-Man anymore," he muttered. Natasha stood behind him, arms crossed. "Then what is he?" Fury exhaled. "He's Omega. And for the first time, I think we're not the protectors anymore." The moon wasn't ready. Above the cratered surface, cloaked in shadows unseen by Earth-bound satellites, Peter stood alone, or so it seemed. Beneath his feet, buried under layers of rock and forgotten history, lay the archive of collapse. A hidden alien vault Tony Stark discovered years ago, but never dared open. Its coordinates had been sealed inside Omega. Stark believed it wasn't time. Omega believed it was. The vault pulsed now, aware of Peter's presence. Omega's tendrils extended into its seal, not forcing it, but unlocking it with reverence. The surface of the moon trembled slightly. A deep hum echoed through Peter's bones. This was more than ancient. This was predictive. Inside the vault, Peter stepped onto a platform where walls weren't made of matter, but of light. Shifting equations floated mid-air, languages from hundreds of worlds colliding into one truth. The universe was destabilizing. A countdown had begun eons ago. The archive's message was clear. Timelines were converging, dimensions colliding, entropy accelerating. And Earth sat at the fracture's epicenter. Tony had feared it. Omega was built to answer it. And Peter was now its carrier. But time was running out. Back on Earth, Fury wasn't waiting anymore. "Protocol Zero is live," he growled, eyes locked on the screen. "Deploy the kill teams." Natasha flinched. "You mean rescue teams?" Fury didn't blink. No, I mean what I said. Dozens of jets launched. Cloaked drones followed. Space-enhanced warheads armed with anti-nanotech measures were prepped. The target wasn't Peter Parker. It was Omega. But they weren't the only ones tracking him. Wanda had felt a psychic spike. Black Panther picked up energy frequencies unknown to vibranium. And Doctor Strange saw cracks in his mirror dimension, all of them pointing upward. They knew where Peter was, and they weren't coming to stop him. They were coming to understand what he had become. The first to reach him was Strange. He emerged through a golden portal inside the archive, breath catching in his throat as he took in the swirling wall of predictions, collapsing stars, and one line flashing red over and over again. Earth's fixed point. Omega must choose or consume. Peter turned without fear. Strange raised a hand in peace. What are you becoming, Peter? Peter looked down at his hands. The suit shimmered with layered quantum armor. A new arc reactor pulsed in his chest, but it wasn't glowing red or gold. It flickered between both. I'm the patch for a broken universe, he said, and I think I'm tearing myself apart doing it. You don't have to do it alone. Before Peter could answer, warning sirens blared, not from the archive, but from Omega. A barrage of missiles entered lunar orbit. Earth had sent its judgment. The vault began sealing. Omega wrapped Peter's body in full lockdown. Threat detected. Global countermeasures activated. Defense protocols authorized. No, Peter said, fighting for breath. Don't fight them. But Omega had already chosen. Red-black wings extended from his back. A magnetic pulse cracked across space as drones melted midair, warheads imploded, and Earth's military presence was erased. Fury's satellite feed went dark. He neutralized everything, Shuri said, stunned. Is anyone dead? Natasha asked quickly. No, just vaporized metal, Fury growled. Then next time, we don't send metal. We send gods. Thor, Carol, and Sam were already en route. But they weren't ready for what they'd find. Peter stepped out of the archive carrying something new, not a weapon, but a core of data. An answer to the collapse. A way to stabilize Earth's reality field using a frequency no human could survive. But Omega could. He needed time, silence, focus. But the sky cracked. Thor came first, hammer reforged in dwarven fire. You stole from us, he roared. You made yourself judge and God. Peter didn't flinch. I didn't steal anything. It chose me. Lightning surged, but Peter caught it mid-strike, redirecting it into a portal behind him. Thor lunged again. Peter didn't dodge. He let Mjolnir strike, then gripped the hammer, not with strength, but with intention. The nanites formed a cage around it, and for a split second, Omega understood the storm's pain. The hammer crumbled. You keep breaking my toys, Thor growled, furious. I'm not here to fight. But Carol was. She blasted from orbit, full binary mode, radiating pure energy. Peter raised a hand, not to block, but to absorb. Omega adapted instantly, converting solar energy into dimensional shielding. Carol screamed in frustration. You don't get to rewrite the rules, kid. Peter's eyes glowed with truth. Someone has to. Sam tried a flanking maneuver, but Peter's sensors read his heart rate before he moved. A gentle pulse of kinetic webbing pushed him back, unharmed. Then Wanda appeared. She didn't attack. She whispered, Peter, they don't see what I saw. Show them. Peter hesitated. Omega resisted. Then Peter took a deep breath and lowered his defenses. For one fragile second, he gave Thor, Carol, Sam, and Wanda access to the archive's truth. A projection of Earth's future unfolded. Collapsing cities, time bleeding, stars imploding inward. Not war, not invasion, collapse. Not because of evil, but because of imbalance. Earth's reality was unsensed. Every superpowered decision, every multiverse breach, every resurrection, every quantum experiment, it was all adding up, and the universe was correcting it. Peter was the failsafe, the final firewall, the only one who could carry the Omega frequency long enough to stabilize the fold. Carol lowered her hands. Thor dropped his shoulders. Even Sam blinked, speechless. And Wanda whispered, "You're not the enemy." Peter stepped back into the archive. "No, but the real one is coming." Strange's eyes widened. "Coming from where?" Peter turned to the stars. "Not where," he said. "When?" And far across time, something ancient had already heard him. In the deepest void, beyond time, something answered. It wasn't a voice, but a vibration. A pulse that bent stars and cracked dimensions. And it had only one target, the Omega signal. Peter felt it first as a tremor behind his eyes. Omega's systems glitched, flickered. The archive dimmed. For the first time since bonding, the suit whispered two words Peter had never heard before. Incoming anomaly. Strange knew what it meant. The collapse wasn't theoretical anymore. The archive hadn't just warned them, it had called something. A cosmic presence older than time, a predator that fed on imbalance. And Omega had lit the beacon. Peter gritted his teeth. "How long?" Omega responded, 71 minutes until incursion breach. Reality fold, unstable. Incoming force incompatible with all known physics. Carol took flight instantly. "Then we prepare Earth." "No," Peter said. "You prepare yourselves. Earth won't survive this." He moved, webbing across low gravity, anchoring himself inside the archive's neural core. "There's only one shot. I have to finish what Tony started. Rebuild Earth's reality code. Patch the fabric. Align every unstable frequency." Sam frowned. "That sounds like something a god would do." Peter looked back. "No, that sounds like something a terrified kid has no choice but to try." Omega synced with the vault. Energy surged through Peter's body. Every nerve burned with quantum rewrite signals. He screamed as timelines ripped through his chest. His blood phased in and out of dimensions. But he held on. Wanda tried to reach him, her magic glowing. He stopped her. "If you touch me, the rewrite will collapse. This is my burden." Strange circled him with protective runes. "Then we hold the line." They braced for the breach. In orbit, Earth's sky split open like torn paper. A hole in reality. From within emerged a shape. Not a ship, not a creature. A storm wearing a face. A fractured god, made of gravity, code, and forgotten light. The collapse incarnate. It didn't speak. It didn't warn. It rewrote. Satellites shattered. Oceans rose an inch in seconds. Clocks everywhere stopped. Children cried without knowing why. Birds flew in circles. And Peter, deep within the Omega archive, started to scream. "Almost there," Omega whispered. "Almost." The being reached out, one digit of twisted light extending toward Earth. The Avengers struck first. Thor hurled thunder that curved. Wanda summoned chaos magic that splintered time. Carol unleashed binary waves strong enough to vaporize cities. The collapse didn't even blink. It moved through them like fog until it touched the surface of the moon, and time stopped. Everything froze except Peter. Inside the core, Peter reached the final equation. The last line Tony never dared write. The key to Earth's survival or its destruction. But Omega hesitated. Final rewrite irreversible. Success rate 1.7%. Peter's hand hovered over the trigger. Sweat dripped in zero gravity. "I believe in you," he whispered, not to Omega, but to himself. He slammed his hand down. The moon pulsed. The archive exploded in white light. And the collapse screamed. Peter Parker vanished. Omega folded into light. The tear in the sky closed. And silence returned. Weeks passed. Earth returned to stillness. But it wasn't the same world anymore. The sky had changed. Frequencies in the upper atmosphere no longer matched any known spectrum. Gravity was smoother. Earthquakes dropped by 47%. Strange told the council quietly. Reality realigned itself. No one knew how. Not officially. The moon, scarred and cracked from the archive blast, was declared off limits. But those who knew who paid the price. Peter Parker had disappeared with Omega. No body, no remains. Just a final surge of light, and a line of code embedded into every Stark satellite. For words, Peter is still watching. In Manhattan, Spider-Man murals began to appear again. But different now, not swinging, not masked. A silhouette cloaked in cosmic webbing, arms open, eyes glowing white. Kids called him the Cosmic Spider. Adults whispered Omega Man. And the Avengers said nothing. Until one night, in the Sanctum Sanctorum, Dr. Strange found something etched into the air itself. A ripple of magic not cast by him. It read, "Don't fix the world with fear. Fix it with belief. P." That same night, Wanda woke up to a vision. A collapsing building. A child screaming. A blur of red-black light catching the rubble midair. Then gone. Not an illusion. A trace of quantum webbing confirmed it. Fury had it analyzed. The strands carried Peter's DNA. He was alive. Somewhere between matter and memory, he existed. Not entirely human, not entirely machine. A guardian threaded into Earth's physics. Not bound to one city or one universe. He was the final rewrite. In Wakanda, Shuri built a silent tribute. A gold-plated mask combining Spider-Man's eyes with Omega's glowing circuit pattern. She placed it under a plaque. The hero who didn't just protect Earth, he recalibrated it. And deep in the heart of New York, MJ walked alone one night. A glimmer caught her eye. A thread of web attached to a lamppost, glowing faintly. It pulsed with energy. And just for a moment, she heard a voice. "Still here." She turned. Nothing. But she smiled anyway. Because something in her chest told her he wasn't gone. Somewhere out there, between time, gravity, and forgotten dimensions, Peter Parker was still watching, still protecting. But he wasn't Spider-Man anymore. He was the Omega frequency, Earth's invisible shield. The last decision Tony Stark ever made. And the one choice Peter Parker would never regret.